Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and welcome to the Psychology of Selling. Since the inception of this program 5 years ago, over 50,000 men and women have been through it, and the version that we're going to give to you today and in subsequent days is the very best that has ever been done. Let me ask you a question. What would it be worth to you to double your income? How about triple your income? Well, most of the sales professionals who've been through this course have said that if you cannot double or triple your sales using what we teach in this course, then it probably cannot be done. In fact, later on in the course, I'm going to give you what is called our 1,000% formula. It is a formula that you can use with almost complete guarantee to increase your income by 1,000% over the years to come in selling. And many people have done that too. Why are we putting on this course? Well, there are two primary reasons. Number one is to bring to you the fact that there's a revolution going on in the world of selling. That selling has changed dramatically in the last 10, 15 years, and we are now in the world of the psychological salesperson. That today what is going on in your mind as a salesperson is more important than anything else. Good times are bad, good products are bad, good markets are bad. It is what is going on in the mind of the salesperson that makes all of the difference in terms of sales and income. And number two, in conjunction with that, we want to give you the outer game of selling, the key technical, professional skills that you need to make more sales faster, easier than ever before, and get more satisfaction from your career than you've ever dreamed possible. Now, if that's what you want, you're in the right place. Let's get going. Let me tell you the purpose of this course. I sat down some years ago and I asked this question: why is it that some salespeople are more successful than others? Why is it that some salespeople seem to consistently sell more no matter what the external conditions? Why is it that there are stars in every area of sales? And a very exhaustive study done in New York some years ago showed that if you took two groups of salespeople and you gave one group exhaustive sales training and get the other group no sales training and put both groups into the field, in a matter of a few days or a few weeks, the top 20% in both of those groups would be selling at about the same level. So our question here comes back to the old Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. Why is it that 20% of the salespeople do 80% of the sales? And what are the qualities and characteristics of these 20% that separate them from the 80%? And then third point is, how can we get you into the top 20%? Now, why should you want to join the top 20%? Very simple. The people in the top 20% sell, on average, 16 times the average of the people in the bottom 80%. In fact, a major insurance company a few years ago put the incomes of their thousands of agents through their computer, and they said, is this figure true? Do the top 20% earn 80% of the money? And they found, yes, it was. They said, well, what about the top 20% of the top 20%? They found the top 20% of the top 20% of the top 4% were earning, on average, 32 times the average of the bottom 80%. So they ran it through the computer once more, and they said, what about the top 20% of the top 20% of the top 20%? And they came to the top 0.8%, and they found that they were, on average, selling as much as 50 times the average of the salespeople in the bottom 80%. Why should you want to even move into these ranks? Well, I'll tell you why. Is that if you're like me, the way I spent most of my life, you worry a lot about money. And once you've made the decision to move into the top 20% or above, you don't ever have to worry about money again as long as you live. Because the people in the top 20% are always employed, they always make good livings, they always have a good life, and they're always in demand in the marketplace. So that's our job, is to get you into the top 20%. Now this brings us to principle number two, or concept number two. It's what is called the winning edge. And the winning edge simply says, it's one of the most important concepts of management in the 20th century. It simply says this. It says that the top salespeople are not salespeople who are different in great ways from the average salespeople, but they are just different around the edges in what we call the vital areas or vital functions of selling. The best analogy to explain this is that if a horse runs in a horse race and comes in first by a nose, it wins 10 times the prize money of a horse that comes in second by a nose. Does this mean that the horse is 10 times faster? Twice as fast? 10% faster? No. It's just the nose faster. And we find that the salespeople who make the big livings, the ones who get the sales and get 100% of the commissions, are not necessarily 100% better than the salespeople from the companies that don't get the business. In most cases, they're only 3%, to 4% better in what we call the vital functions of sales. And the whole purpose of this course is to teach you the vital functions, the inner game and the outer game of success in selling. Now, what are the vital functions? Well, the vital functions are the key determinants of sales performance. They're the vital functions that happen to take effect in anything, in any area of sales, any product or any service. Vital functions are to selling as heart rate, respiratory rate, brainwave activity, muscle tone, blood pressure are to the body. If you don't have them, you're dead. It's as simple as that. If you do have them, an improvement or a deterioration in any one of them can increase or decrease the functioning of all the rest of them. And what are the vital functions? Number one is a positive mental attitude. All top salespeople have a positive mental attitude, and we're going to teach you how you can become and stay positive all the time you're selling and all the rest of the time too. Number two is that top salespeople are likable. One of the most important distinguishing qualities or descriptions of top salespeople is that they're nice people. And we're going to show you that developing a reputation for being a nice, likable, positive, persuasive person is something that you can learn. Another thing is health. Good physical health and appearance is that top salespeople have a lot of energy, they have a lot of vitality, and they look good on the outside, and they're good and healthy on the inside. So we're going to show you how important these are. Another vital function is complete product knowledge. As a matter of fact, product knowledge is one of the core skills of selling. It's knowing your product cold, knowing every single thing about your product and about your competitors' products and how they differ and where your products are superior. Also, prospecting and approaching skills. The basic rule of selling is that you are only in business to the degree to which you continuously generate new prospects. And this is one of the great weaknesses in selling. You can be excellent in everything else, but without a continuous stream of new prospects that you're approaching and contacting and arranging appointments with, your business will come to a halt. Another part is presenting. Good presenting skills, and 99% of all salespeople can improve their presenting skills. So good presenting skills are essential. You can have everything else but no presenting skills and you're dead. Finally, qualifying or handling objections. Handling objections and closing skills are absolutely essential for success in selling. Absolutely essential. Being able to deal with objections, deal with price, overcome them, and ask for the order is critical. And if you're excellent at all of the others but you can't do this, your sales career is in serious trouble. And finally, in my estimation, time management skills. There are many people who, in sales, who do very well in all of these, but because they can't manage their time, because of personal inefficiency, because of the inability to concentrate on the most valuable use of their time, set priorities, reconfirm appointments, and so on, they don't do particularly well. So we will be teaching you in this course how to do these in an excellent fashion. Now, what are the keys? Well, let me come to the keys in just a second. Let me point out one thing, though, is that let us say that you were to make a decision to become just 10% better in all of these critical areas. Just 10% better over the course of the next year. Because all of these are interrelated functions, 10%, that's less than 1% a month, just a little bit better in attitude, a little bit better in personality, a little bit better in health and appearance, a little bit better in product knowledge, a little bit better in prospecting and appointing, a little bit in approaching, a little bit better in presenting, a little bit better in handling objections and closing, a little bit better in time management. What would the effect be on your income? Well, the effect would be really quite astonishing. If you take a factor of 1.0 as a constant, it means that you have 1.0 in positive mental attitude, 1.0 in likability, 1.0 in health and appearance, 1.0 in product knowledge, 1.0 in prospecting and approaching skills, 1.0 in presenting skills, 1.0 in handling objections and closing, 1.0 in time management. It means that your total productivity or performance in all of these levels, and your productivity, and this equals your performance or your income, is 1.0. If you want to dramatically increase your income over the next 12 months, a minor increase of 10% to 1.1 in each of these areas is not asking too much. A little bit better in each area, a little tiny bit of gradual improvement in each one of these areas, which is what this course will show you how to accomplish, will lead to not a gradual mathematical improvement, but a multiplied improvement. Since an improvement in every one of these areas is going to improve your performance in every other area, this will be the total result of multiplying 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1. So it's 1.1 times 1.1 is 1.21, times 1.1 is 1.33, times 1.1 is 1.46, times 1 is 1.61, times 1 is 1.78, times 1 is 1.95, times 1 is 2.14. In other words, you can literally double your income in 12 months simply by becoming 10% better in each of the critical areas. And as you improve in each critical area, it affects your overall performance in all other areas simultaneously. Just the same as if you deteriorated in each of these areas, it would affect your performance in each of these areas. So what is necessary for you to achieve this kind of improvement? And by the way, we've had many people who've been through our courses who've been able to achieve a doubling of their productivity and a doubling of their income in as little as 30 days. 3 things are necessary. Number 1, make a decision. Make a decision. Decide right now that you're going to become a star in your field. Decide right now that you're going to become one of the best. You're going to join the top 80%, the top 4%, the top 0.8%. It doesn't happen by accident. It takes a decision and it takes a commitment. Number 2 is learn the key skills. You can learn what you need to know to accomplish your goals. You can learn what you need to know to go all the way to the top. And number 3, as simple as this, become brilliant on the basics. Coming back to the 80-20 rule that we talked about, which simply says that 20% of what you do will account for 80% of your results. The basics are everything. The 20% of the things that you do in the entire course of your sales career are right here. You become brilliant on the basics, and it'll account for 80% of your results. Salespeople are made, not born. Salespeople become champions as a result of nurture, not nature. You can accomplish anything that anybody else in your field has accomplished before you. Nobody is smarter than you. Nobody is better than you. You have the capacity to go all the way to the top. And you'll find as we go through this program, step by step, we will give you the tools to reach any goal that you desire in your field of sales.